Welcome to Snip and Sip, the podcast where we cut through the noise about plastic surgery while sipping our drink of the day. I'm your host, Dr. Scottsdale, from my real name, Dr. Mata. We're gonna talk about funny, we're gonna talk about trends, we're gonna spill the tea and all the secrets. All right, guys, welcome back to episode number 8.
Wow.
Ocho. Can you guys believe it? It's been 8 weeks since we started doing this podcast. And you know what we're called? Snip and Sip, right, guys?
That's right.
So what's our drink of the day?
We are drinking Long Island iced teas today.
Okay.
Salud.
Salud.
So,
Salud. Here's to you guys. Again, if you want to sponsor, we're totally open. Not bad. Not bad. Actually, it used to be my drink of choice in college.
I bet it's cheap and effective.
Very.
Long time ago.
Well, thanks for the reminder.
How many years ago exactly? My age?
More than your age.
More than my age?
More than your age. But anyways, we're going to be talking about mamas this week. We're talking about celebrity moms versus regular moms. Why do they seem to recover faster? Or do you believe that?
No, I definitely believe that. For
Why?
sure. Well, it's just what you see on the medias.
You mean medias like Instagram, Facebook,
Yeah,
TikTok,
exactly.
Snapchat?
Yeah, and I remember growing up too in magazines, like that would be the talk is like how quick can they bounce back? Or like if they didn't bounce back like a month later, then like they would be harassed and called cows and like huge and like at least when I was growing up, like in magazines specifically, it was bad. Now obviously like with the body positivity movement.
But
it's
how
not as-
soon is like
Fast.
exactly? Because sometimes we don't see them like till a year later, but we're not keeping track. We think it's like a month later, but it's really not.
Well, I think even a year later is like
That's
pretty
fast?
soon. Yeah, I think so. For like a regular person, like I would not bounce back in a year. Let me tell you
Have
that.
you bounced back already?
No. So that's what I'm saying.
From your food baby?
I still have my food baby from like last week. So that's why I'm saying I'm not bouncing back.
She
in a
leads
year.
a colonic. If you guys are interested, please reach out to
Please sponsor
Alondra
me,
or
please.
Nurse Scottsdale. They both need colonics.
We're actually have an appointment for Friday.
For Friday.
So-
Okay, we're going to be cleansed.
We'll be
That
going
means-
together.
That means they're getting something up there, you know what, that's going to pump water and basically get their poop out.
Just another day for us.
Just
Just another day in paradise of getting your shit flushed out.
I'm looking forward to it.
Actually, we did have a staff member who I noticed, I was like, God, you look skinnier. And she's like, oh my God, thank you. I've been taking this probiotic that's helped me flush it out.
Tell me what it is.
Well, you'll have to find out at the office because, again, this person literally, I was like, God, you look like you lost 5 pounds. She's like, actually 7.
well, who knows? Maybe after Friday.
I know, maybe we'll be skinny. And my birthday's coming up, so maybe I have to do it twice in a row.
Twice in a row to poop your brains out.
14 pounds.
You guys realize how much poop you actually carry in your body at any given time?
No, because I never poop it out.
I know, but do you have any idea of how much poop you actually can carry in your body?
I mean, I'm sure like 5 to
It's a
10
lot.
pounds.
Well, because it's like your stomach is huge, right? So like it like winds around.
Your stomach?
Or like whatever, your intestines.
Colon.
Where you digest it.
You have your stomach. You
Well, it has
have
to
your
pass everything.
duodenum.
Does it not have to pass your stomach before you before it goes to your...
Mm-hmm. You have your stomach, your small intestine, your large intestine. And then there's all kinds of the ascending, transverse, descending,
Sir,
sigmoid,
English
and
would
rectum.
be nice anytime now.
That's where poop gets processed.
Well, mine's not
anyways.
processing.
Okay,
mine's
so this
loading.
is not a poop topic.
I know, but we digress sometimes. But anyways, let's get back to the topic at hand. Celebrity moms, why do they bounce back so fast? Well, I'm going to give you my 2 cents, okay? Celebrities are like the rest of you and me, except they have a lot more zeros attached to their name, which is good for them, but the reality is they're just regular human beings like the rest of us. The difference is they have money, and money, not bunny, money buys a lot of things. What do you think money buys for them?
Well, I think they just have more access to everything, like
Well,
even
money.
a trainer, nutritionist,
That costs money.
a surgeon,
That
a
costs money.
nanny.
a nanny.
That costs money.
And they also get paid to look good. I mean,
Yeah, that's their
just
job.
imagine that's their job. They have to be on TV, so they're have
I
to
pay
look
you
good.
to look good.
No, you don't.
I do.
Well,
Are you saying she doesn't look good?
Not always.
She looks hot.
Well, right now
well
she
maybe
does.
because he's not paying me that well.
If you paid her more, maybe she'd look hotter.
Oh, if I paid her more, she would look better. Okay.
And I think it also depends though on the pregnancies, because I remember with my first pregnancy, I felt like I bounced back. I mean,
Yeah,
relatively
and
quick.
you were huge too during the pregnancy.
Yeah, I probably gained like 50 to 60 pounds at least.
But here's the thing, okay? I will specify this, okay, guys? The average woman gains half a pound to 1 pound per week of pregnancy. So if it's 40 weeks, remember, everybody thinks it's 9 months. 9 months times 4 is 36 weeks. It's 40 weeks of pregnancy, which is 10 months. At 10 months or 40 weeks, half a pound to 1 pound, the most you should ever gain is 40 pounds. Medical terminology, okay? That's what we study in books. That doesn't mean
Gaining
women
like
don't gain
100.
80 pounds or 100 pounds, okay? But think about it, and I'm not trying to be funny. If the baby weighs 6 pounds when they're born and you gained 80 pounds, where did the weight go? Not to the baby.
The fluid around it.
Yeah.
Some people, just
you think
And
all
then,
the
like,
amniotic
you see-
fluid weighs 70 pounds?
No, but they
some
get so
people
swollen.
retain a lot of water. I was retaining a lot of fluid.
Okay.
So I did gain a lot, but I
But
lost.
this is what I was
yeah.
trying to explain, guys. Half a pound to 1 pound per week is what you should gain. So some women gain like 15, 20 pounds, like, oh my God, you didn't gain anything. Well, for them, that's a lot. And for other people, it's 40. But my point with her is that we were checking the weight, and I think like, 38, 39 weeks, you'd gain like 25 pounds.
I was going to say, she didn't gain a lot of
It was
weight
like
until
20,
the end.
25 pounds. And then she went past term. We showed up 3 days after the due date. And then she was in the hospital. She labored for 23 hours? Okay. And all they did was give her fluids. By the time she delivered, she had received 8 to 9 liters.
Yeah.
1 liter is 2.2 pounds. So literally between the time she showed up to the hospital to the time she delivered our firstborn, Jordan, they gave her 18 pounds of water to her
I
body.
literally looked like a
You were
marshmallow.
huge.
Yeah.
We'll post a picture of what she looked like.
Oh, God, no,
just in case
no.
you want to see what our firstborn looked like. and
But
how
like 3
puffy
months
she was.
later, 4 months later, I lost that and more.
Yeah, you were
Yes,
tiny
but again, you had the luxury of you breastfed, and you could breastfeed.
did.
Not everybody can breastfeed.
And then I was working out too.
I hear you lose a lot of weight breastfeeding too, actually.
Why do you think that is?
Because they're sucking all the juice out of you.
The juice?
the life out
The
of you.
milk. The
It's
mama
not
milkers.
milk. But think about it. In order to make breast milk, it's calories. Your body's literally using calories to make nutrition. So if you want to, secret number 1, if you want to lose weight really fast, you either pump or you breastfeed a lot, because they're literally, it's forcing your body to produce milk, which takes energy. And the more energy you use, the faster you're going to burn
And your
stuff up.
boobs look big too.
They look very juicy. But
Well,
here's
that's
the
a plus.
It is a plus, but I'm going to tell you, this is where plastic surgeons come in, okay, guys? If your boobs get so big, like this with milk, and then they dry up, they shrink, and then they sag, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's talk about your experience with breast milk.
She wouldn't know. She's always had perfect boobies.
No, like what about it? I mean, I breastfed for, I don't know,
9 months? 10 months?
close to 10
10
months.
10 months.
Yeah, for the first time. And the second time, like 3 months.
3 months. But how big did your breasts get?
Huge.
Did you measure them?
I did not.
No,
but they
because
were
we didn't buy
huge.
new bras, but they were big. I would say they were maybe like 1.5 times bigger.
I mean, they were huge.
And just to clarify, she's always had big boobs. Like, so imagine.
but
when like the.
but not
You were like
in a
a
hot
G,
way. Like
dude.
I don't.
No, you were
She's
huge.
an OG.
No, like
Because
I remember I went with you
Because I
one
was,
time
I
to
looked
buy.
really skinny, just big boobs. So I was
Boobs
like,
on a
it's-
stick.
yeah, exactly.
Tits on a stick? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but like no, they were huge. I remember being like, "Damn, dude, like Big Mama bras." Like, you know what I'm saying?
Big Mama Bras. Again, I don't know if that's a company, but it should be Big Mama Bras.
No, that's a movie.
I know, Big
Oh
Mama's
my-
house, but
yeah,
I'm
Big
saying Big
Mama.
Mama Bras.
True. Someone trademark.
But again, so why is it that celebrities who don't breastfeed bounce back faster?
But how do you know they're not breastfeeding?
Because they say they're not? Does
I
that mean
mean,
it's real?
Some, I mean, yes, but I'm
sure they are.
Sure they have like everything under the roof, right? Like they have a nutritionist who's literally just give them a, you know what,
Trainers.
exactly.
Ozempic, probably.
Well, no, you can't do that while you're breastfeeding.
Well,
Not
no, let's say
recommended.
they're done breastfeeding.
Okay, which is
I
what?
would be on that.
Like 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, 11
It
months?
depends.
Yeah.
Are you going to breastfeed when you have a baby?
Yeah, actually.
When you get knocked up?
Is it a thing? Like, do you think that's why? I don't know. Hot take. Do you guys think that's why women breastfeed for a long time? Because they don't want to gain weight.
Well, there's a couple of things about breastfeeding. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. But the reality is, if you breastfeed, you're going to burn energy. But as long as you're breastfeeding, technically your body can ovulate. So you theoretically shouldn't get pregnant when you're breastfeeding because your hormone levels are so off that you can't physically ovulate. But there's people that are breastfeeding and still get pregnant.
Oh shoot!
So-
So you just never stop breastfeeding, or like never stop?
Yeah. And I mean, there's people that once they breastfeed, their milk will dry up. But if they hear a baby scream, they'll still release milk.
That's crazy.
You realize that's all it takes, right? When Jordan would start crying, your breast milk would let out. And I'm like, honey, you got to go change your bra. She's like, what? And sure enough, there was a puddle, right?
Yeah, but I was like a cow. Literally, I would produce
She wasn't
so
that
much
big.
milk. I mean, not big, but I felt like I was producing so much milk.
I don't know. That's scary to me. Just the thought of something biting it, like a little baby.
Well, she would never complain. And then the first time Jordan bit her because she had some teeth, she's like, whoa, what was that, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it is painful for the first maybe a couple weeks. I mean, you literally blister and bleed. And then once you get past it, it's like whatever.
It's called a callus on your hands. Once you lift enough weights, your body gets used to it. Well, think
I don't
about it.
want that.
And it's
As guys, you know, if you're attracted to women or nipples and you suck on them, it's for a little bit. A baby's literally sucking on them for 20, 30 minutes nonstop, sucking as hard as they can. You wait.
painful.
And then they keep sucking on it later. And then they wait, and then they suck some more.
and just imagine you
All
have
day.
like
So imagine when your nipples are sensitive, a baby's like a guy sucking on them nonstop, 24 hours a day for what, 11 months?
Why do people choose to have babies?
Because it's fun to make them. And I don't think everybody chooses, but it just kind of happens, right?
yeah. Some people don't have any kids, and they don't want to have any kids.
Like everything people say about pregnancy sounds
Awesome?
Awful.
Awesome.
Your vagina ripping. You probably shit while you're giving birth.
That's
Your
a fact.
nipples are falling off. Like
They don't fall
you
off.
stretch. You're saggy after. Like
And some
sounds
people have
so
some people have all of that beforehand.
Yeah, and then where do the men get any the dad bods?
They just have to work really hard.
You know, we gain weight together.
Y'all don't get to gain weight. You have to look hot.
Sympathy weight.
So you guys mentioned nutritionists. You guys mentioned money. You
Trainers.
guys mentioned trainers. You guys mentioned
Plastic surgeons.
plastic surgeons, right?
Lipo 360, my guy. Tummy tugs.
But here's the thing, okay? The reality about celebrity moms is, like I said, they're regular people. Do they have access to more things than most people? Yes. But remember, diet and exercise is free. But can you work out? Yes. Oh, no, I can't because I'm breastfeeding or I have a baby. Well, get your baby, put him on you, and go walk.
That's a weight.
Go eat better. Go eat salads. Don't go eat cruddy food. But again, one thing that I don't think we always talk about that's a newer thing that wasn't around when I was going in med school was postpartum depression. It's a real thing. And again, I know some of our staff members have kind of brought it up to me that they weren't there. And everybody's kind of different. And that also can play a role in terms of how a woman recovers.
Yeah.
So that's like a big hot topic that I think if you have any issues and you're not feeling bonded to your baby or you just feel very off compared to what you were even before or during your pregnancy, you should go talk to somebody because you may need to be put on certain psychological support or medications that might make the difference to you getting over that hump and recovering better.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I mean, I think you were pretty fortunate because you didn't have it, did you?
I don't think I had it. I mean, I think maybe initially, I don't know, I just felt lonely, but I didn't feel like I wasn't bonding with my baby. So I don't know, maybe that was kind of a form of depression.
I mean, I can't comprehend that aspect of growing a human being and then having it come out of your body, whether it's through downstairs or being cut open to get it out. And I know you had C-sections, so I think it was a little different. But things are just what they are, right? Like it's something that women choose to endure when they're having a baby, that their body's going to change. But guess what? This is where plastic surgery comes in, right?
And I think it's all worth it.
Mm-hmm.
What's
Then
worth
you
it?
have
Plastic
the
surgery?
cutest-
Well, having babies and then
The
plastic
cutest
surgery
little
after.
munchkins too.
Well,
They're so cute.
since you both are known to the field of plastic surgery, what do you think these moms get that allows them to bounce back
Mommy
faster?
makeover, I think.
It's a mommy makeover? What's a mommy makeover?
Well, let me tell you. I'm just kidding.
But I mean, it's different for everybody.
No, it's
but
different.
like boobs, lipo, tummy tucks. Not everybody needs a tummy tuck, but
Yeah.
But here's the thing, that when we're talking about all these celebrities, right? Like I've been mentioning, they don't bounce faster than anybody else, guys.
there's not like a magic pill that they take.
No, I wish that was the case. And again, whether it's me or anybody else that does plastic surgery, there's only so much that we can do. If you have stretch marks, we can't get rid of them. We can cut them out. When we're talking about moms and plastic surgery, as I was mentioning, as plastic surgeons, there's only so much we can do. We can cut out stretch marks. We can't get rid of them. We can blend them away. You can tattoo them. You can stretch them. But ultimately, it is what it is. I think for me, the hardest part is when we see women that aren't done having babies and they're like, oh, I'm not going to have a baby for 5 to 7 years. And then so are they supposed to live not the best version of themselves for that period of time? Or do we do a mommy makeover and know that their body's going to change when they have a baby again and then realize you might have to do it again?
Well, okay, so let's say you have a baby and then you have a tummy tuck after and then you get pregnant again. Does your body stretch differently?
It does a little bit.
Like,
but,
how does that?
The body's a miraculous thing. When I do tummy tucks, I try to use permanent sutures so that your fascia or the covering of the muscle doesn't stretch. But I've had women get pregnant afterwards and they stretch just fine. But understand that they may need another mommy makeover after a baby and having one to begin with.
So what we said, if you're planning on having another kid like 5 years after, it's like, get it done. Like, why do you have to look crappy for 5 years?
Well, for a lot of people, it's
Now, if it's-
expensive. They might as well. Because a lot of
Cost.
people have
Okay,
to
so
save for a very long
if
time.
money was not an issue, right, then it's like, just get it done. You only have one life. What if you don't have another kid and you waited all this time and like, oh, I could have looked so amazing, but I
Yeah,
didn't
feel
because
better
I didn't
about
have it done.
yourself.
Well, you're pro plastic surgery. So
So-
let's get that out of the
Wait,
way.
I mean, yes.
She
I mean,
believes in plastic surgery.
You only have one life. Like,
Well,
if
I
you
would
think,
hope so. She's married.
I mean, it's like,
That's
would
good.
hope.
I have a lot of clients that ask me, well, should I get my boobs done or should I wait till I have kids? I'm like, well, are you planning on having any kids? No, I don't even have a boyfriend. I'm like, well, get them done. Like,
know, then you'll
what
get a
are you waiting
boyfriend.
for? I mean, just get them redone after kids.
I don't disagree with you, but I would have to say this, and this is just me speaking as a plastic surgeon, not as a man, okay? As a plastic surgeon, our job is to do no harm first, right? That means we weigh the pros and cons, the risks, the benefits, and alternatives to what we do. If you're 18 and you want your breasts, great. But if you get knocked up or pregnant at 19, the dynamically things are going to change. I don't know how many times I've seen a woman like, oh, I had babies at 17 or 18, and they're coming at 35, and they're like, I don't know what it was to not have this skin or to not have saggy breast.
You're just young.
Because they started young, they never got to enjoy the body that they should have had for their youth. And that's the thing. I think most people, and again, I can't speak for what society is now, but they tend to be older, more mature, lived, sold their wild oats, whatever you want to call it.
The wild oats.
And then had babies and then been like, hey, I know what it was like to have this body. Now it's not this. I want to go back to having a body that I feel comfortable in. Again, it's all about feeling comfortable in your own skin. And that's what we do as plastic surgeons. We're trying to get whatever you feel is up here, down here to match. And that's where she's very pro plastic surgery, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I think I look better than what I did before. I mean, before kids.
Well, I would say you've had a little help, right? 'Cause
I did.
You have had a mommy makeover.
I have. So like I said, I think I look better now than before kids.
Well, I think also for people too is like the scars that you would have, like that's a big, like for a tummy tuck. So I feel like that's like a big thing like, that people like say is the scars. But I would say as someone who like hasn't had kids, I've had a breast augmentation and like I love it. I'm not complaining. And one day if I have kids and they stretch out, I'll get another one. Like I think
But
it
here's
was
the
worth
catch.
it.
You said you had a breast augmentation. Part of that is avoiding scars when you're young, right? Because
Yeah.
you're like, hey, I haven't had babies. But if you haven't had babies, you're not with a significant other, and then you have a lift with implants, for example, you're going to have scars that you can't undo. And whoever decides to be with you has to be like, oh, wow, what are those? Because I've never seen those. I remember the first time as a guy that I saw scars in a woman was as a surgeon. And I was like, oh, that's what the scars look like. I had no idea because all the women I had ever seen outside of being a doctor had no scars or a breast augmentation for that matter.
That you know of.
Well, no, I knew what I knew what implants were. But the reality is once you have scars, you can't take them away. But you have to understand it boils down to two simple things. Would you rather have skin or would you rather have scars? Less skin means more scar. That's just what it boils down to. So if all of a sudden your breasts grow like this and then they sag and you're like, I want implants, yes, we have to fill up the volume, but now it doesn't have the shape. And again, the easiest example I give people is you want this dress to be bomb, to be fire on you, right? So you need it to have it tailored on your arms, your waist, your hips, your butt, your legs.
So
But if I only tailor it to your arms and everything else is looser, you're going to be happy with that dress.
So you can always cover up scars, but you can't cover skin. The skin is always there. The scars, you can cover them up. Some people scar really great.
She scars really
Some
great.
people don't.
I'm lucky.
Oh my
So-
gosh.
But what was my fear
Can't
when
you
we...
laser like scars
yeah.
to help a little bit too? Like there's things like, and I was gonna ask about stretch marks. Like, is there anything you can do to help it a little bit? Like, resurfacing.
Yes, you can never get rid of them, but you can make them look better.
Correct. And when I say better, if they're colored, you can make the color go away. You can tattoo them so they look like the same skin tone color, but the texture in terms of how they're sunken in, they're stretched, you can't ever get rid of that. You can make it a little bit better. But I think the question that I was going to ask you, as I sit here and actually forgot, was, I don't know, I can't remember. But anyways,
Sorry, I interrupted.
I know you were talking about the scars from that perspective. Oh, and I said she scars really well. Why did you choose to have a, or the conversation, now here it is, I finally came to me. What did I tell you about me doing your surgery? What was my greatest fear?
Scars.
What did I tell you? I said,
You did not want to come home and look at more scars
and it's true.
because you see them every day.
I was, as a surgeon, I literally look and make scars for a living.
But I'm like, do you want to come home and look at skin?
And I said
No.
yes, but she didn't agree. So I didn't win out.
So yeah, so he did not want to do my surgery. And I said, well, who would you trust in town to do my surgery? Because I'm going to get it done. I'm doing it for me, not for you. So he's like, I had really nobody. So yeah,
Well, and again,
He
the reason,
doesn't
got
do
it.
the
it.
reason I said nobody is because they don't do what I do.
exactly. So
Right?
you-
Like they'll sit here and do a tummy tuck or do whatever with the breasts, but part of the dynamics is that you lost a lot of weight. You know, she weighed like 115, and then after Jordan 105, and then you had Jaden, you gained weight, you lost weight.
but our kids were big too.
Jordan was huge.
I mean, our first, she was almost 9 pounds, and then Jaden was 8 pounds.
And you're how tall? Like you're like 5'1".
5'1".
You're like
And
5'1".
114 pounds.
Yeah.
So part of the dynamics, at least with me, was as a surgeon, I literally try to do the best scars humanly possible. But even then, for example, my friends back in the day, like, hey, let's go to strip club. I'm like, why would I want to go to a strip club? Because all I see is the bad scars that people have left
So
on
you're
these
just
women.
there criticizing.
In my head, I am.
So you're just there judging while they're doing their job.
Well, yeah, but it's my job because I'm paying to look at them, right? That's the difference. As a plastic surgeon, it's the only specialty where you get paid to look at people naked for a living, which is kind of interesting, right? But here's the catch. Once you have a scar, you can't unsee it. So I would look at women and be like, everyone's like, oh my God, she's so hot. I'm like, are you kidding me? Look at her breast lift scars. Look at how things don't match. And so they're like, dude, you're such a buzzkill. Like, why
But they're still hot.
They're
They
still
have
hot.
scars, but they're
they're
still.
hot to people that don't know they have scars. But to me, I can't ever unsee where a scar is. Like, I could look at somebody and be like, oh yeah, they had XYZ.
Yeah, because of scars, or because you just have like the eye.
No, because of the scars. Because as a surgeon, you just know where they are.
Yeah, I feel like
Like if you talked about the Kardashians, and not to throw any shade or whatever, but I'm not going to specify who, but they've had breast lifts. Like
they've
you
also
can
had BBLs.
Well, I can't prove that, but I can literally prove on a photo that they've had breast lifts. Like I can physically prove it because I could show you where the outline of the scar is. So the reality is, even though they're famous, and again, they are Kardashians or Jenners, you can see breast lift scars. And that's crazy, but I can't, right? Because I know where they're at. I can look at somebody's face when they turn sideways and be like, oh, they had a facelift. Like those are
Yeah.
things you can see.
Well, I feel like I can always tell when someone has a BBL because like the hips are like so round. Like you can just see, like when they're perfectly filled and round, like there's no way you look like that naturally.
Well,
so it
it's
just gives it away, in my opinion.
Well, yes, but certain things are impossible. If you talk about BBLs and the hip dips, it's impossible to actually have that rounded area because your muscle anatomy doesn't allow for that. If you look at bodybuilders, they're never going to have that roundness unless you fill it with fat. These are just facts.
The muscle, it just kind of dips in.
Yeah, and I was like, I feel like that's how I can always tell. Even if it's like a skinny BBL, like just the hips give it away. Like if they're wearing a tight dress, like, and they're like this, that's not
How?
real. Like this,
How you want to be?
yes.
You're like, I want people to know I had a BBL because
Yeah.
it looks.
Well, no, I feel like if I ever got one, I don't want my hips like super filled. Like I just would want a natural looking.
Natural.
Yes, natural but thick.
Natural but thick. She wants to be slim thick, fellas.
I do want to be
So again,
slim
we're going to
thick.
start her OnlyFans account after
We're gonna
she
start
gets
a
a BBL.
GoFundMe. So if anyone wants to contribute, donate,
She's
give
willing
charitable donations.
She's willing to help you out with
my gosh.
photos for that.
No, but like you would know that you're helping a sister out, and that's all that matters.
Are
At
you
the
a
end of the
sister?
day, yeah.
Okay.
At the end of the day,
But again, going back to her, the scars. And it took me a while because I know where the scars are. And eventually your
But you
scars
did,
faded
I
away.
mean, you made them. You would know where they are.
Exactly. But even if I didn't make them, I would still see them.
Just turn the lights off.
So do they
I'm
still
a lights
bother
on
you
person.
now?
Are you she's a lights off person.
So
are you
are-
a lights on or lights off?
Off the fuck. That's weird. Why are you doing it in the light?
Because I want to see.
Why is that always a thing? Oh, because I want to see. No,
Wanna
turn
see
off the
what?
light. You can feel around, but you don't need to see
It's,
everything.
it's not the same.
It
I'm
is.
a visual person. That's why I became a plastic surgeon because I want to see stuff.
But it's weird.
And that's weird.
No, it's not.
You're weird. Do you guys think? I think like a shower, doing it in the shower is way worse than like even if the lights are on.
How it's hard to do it in the shower.
Because you're
Because
old.
you think the more water you have, the better
Because
it
you're
is, the
gonna
harder
slip
it
and
is.
break a hip or what?
No, there's no lubrication in there. Water is not a good lubricant to, like, trying to do it in a pool. That's hard.
No, it's not. It just.
No,
Never mind.
no. Have you done it in the pool and it slides right in?
And then all the chlorine and gets in there.
I've never done that before.
Yeah. So no, it doesn't slide in, fellas. At least when I've tried. Yeah, it doesn't slide in.
In the pool?
In the pool?
But how can we help as plastic surgeons? What do you guys think we do for these celebrities? Not that I've operated on any.
Well,
I mean, I think you
there's
do
so
everything.
many things. Yeah, there's anything helps. I think.
And everybody's different, just like us. I
Yeah.
mean, if you do one thing, it doesn't, like non-surgical, right? And you do one thing, it doesn't work, then you do something else.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like nowadays, like celebrities are taking more of like a, if I don't bounce back in like 6 months, then it's not as big of a pressure now. Like than
Well, I
it was
think-
back then. Like at least like I mentioned earlier, like the Kardashians, Courtney, and like the recent episodes has been like just more chill about the whole bouncing back, because it used to be a big thing. Like if you couldn't bounce back immediately. Yeah, but like back then, if you couldn't bounce back immediately, like people would talk about you on social media everywhere. So now I feel like people feel less like pressure, you would say, even though it's like their job. It is their job to look good. But now I feel like we're more lenient on like, you're a mom, you're okay if you take your time to get back to where you were, or even if you don't, like that's fine if you're happy in the body you're in, you know. But I just feel like there's like, maybe it's the motivation because it is their job to look good, that they're just motivated to do it.
The better looking you are, the more money you're gonna make.
Yeah, the more money, because
They've
like
studied that.
An average person, like I'm not gonna be, if I just had a baby, I'm not gonna go crazy back to the gym like immediately. Like
Why not?
I'm gonna be with my baby,
and then most people have to work.
Exactly.
You know, they take some time off to be with their babies, and then they're worried about other things, not like looking good, right? Because they have to go back to work. They have other kids that they need to attend. So the last thing, your priority is like, oh my gosh, I gotta look good.
Is yourself.
But if you get paid to look good, then that's what you're gonna
priority
do.
number one.
Yeah, that's where you're making your money. So
that OnlyFans isn't gonna take care of itself.
Well, I need a BBL, so if you're gonna provide, if someone's gonna,
Hey,
I provide when people pay.
There might be an OnlyFans for, maybe there's guys that like girls with no butts.
who name them right now?
Well, I
She's
don't know.
looking for a man
Try it out.
that doesn't like girls with big asses. She's available.
Actually, no, I want one who does like big butts so that he can pay for.
But he
But
has
you gotta do something to get that payment.
Nothing. I'm just gonna be here.
You gotta start out with somebody who doesn't like big butts, and then once you get one, then you'll get with somebody that likes them big.
No, I need someone who likes big chichis, and then the butt's like second place. So then like he'll feel bad and be like, oh, let me pay for it.
No, I used to be a breast man until I met this one. Now I'm a butt guy. I was always like, I love breast, but I love natural breast. Now,
She does have natural breasts.
well, yeah, you can touch them, right?
You feel
Yeah,
like
they're
they're
natural.
natural.
They
I mean,
feel
they're
natural.
real.
They're real.
Why are you?
They're so
Okay,
real.
so it was rated R.
That's porn,
right there.
and that's my sister.
Is that
Relax.
PG-13 or is that rated R when you
Stop
squeeze?
it, Janet! Don't let him fondle you like that. You're a virgin. Ew.
Yeah, a virgin who had 2 babies. Huh?
Yes.
Just like you're a virgin.
I'm a virgin, guys. We've established this.
No. So, just to wrap it up, guys, if you're a mom who's had babies, whether you're a celebrity or not, there are things you can do. Diet, exercise, talk to individuals. And again, baby number 1. Number 2 is you. You have to take care of yourself, because if you're not taking care of yourself, you can't take care of your baby. Yes, your job, but this is where your significant other comes in and should help you, provide for you. And what I mean by that is support. It doesn't have to be just money, but it'd be like, hey, there's childcare at the gym, so let's go to the gym together, as opposed to like, hey, I'm going this, that, whatever. I think you have to prioritize yourself. Obviously, baby first, you second, the rest of the world third, because that's what it boils down to, especially because you've sacrificed your body, your time, your effort, your entire well-being for another human being that didn't just magically happen by yourself. It took somebody else, and even with IVF, you're still requiring the use of somebody else's goods in order to make a baby.
Before we wrap up, because you just reminded me of something, what do you guys think of, like, do you ever see on TikTok, like, guys on podcasts who are like, yeah, if my wife doesn't bounce back in, like,
I'm gonna
3
divorce her?
months,
Well, I
I'm
tell her
going to
that all the
divorce
time.
her. No, but, like, seriously, like, that's messed up. Like, do you guys have any thoughts?
I think they're just insecure guys.
100%.
Well,
like-
and they have small weenies.
Okay, so you're talking about small dicks, right? So if you married a guy with a big dick and all of a sudden his dick became really small, would you want to be with that guy?
But that's not possible.
No, I'm saying it is actually.
No.
So you don't want to be with him if you had a nice
No.
dick and it was perfect, and then all of a sudden it just shrinks, and now you're like,
It's
hey, what
different.
the heck?
So if
Why
like
is
we
it
were,
different?
if we were just dating and blah blah blah, whatever.
So would you walk
But
away
if you're
from a guy
married, you have a kid together, and then you're like,
and his dick just shrunk after babies? Imagine
Well,
every
there's
time a
things you
guy
can
produced a
do.
baby, that their dick would shrink.
I understand, but you fell in love with that same person, not with
Not
the
with
dick.
the dick.
I mean,
At that
you
point,
had a
part of it.
baby.
That's
at that
part of it.
point, you're already together. You already have kids.
So you're okay with him having a small dick now forever?
I mean,
Am I okay with it? I don't know, but I'm still gonna be with that person no matter what. And I'm not gonna make them feel bad about it if it wasn't.
I mean, I
in
do
their
think
control.
there's women that really just let themselves go. I mean, they might have been 120 pounds and then they get to
220.
like 220 and they just feel okay to themselves, but like their partners are not attracted anymore. And he's like, and they're not doing anything to at least try and be more, attractive to their partner.
Well,
so
how
that
do
I
you know?
can
Like,
kind of see.
because sometimes people like struggle in silence. They may put out that front, but on the inside,
And that's what I mean, talking.
need help.
But that's the thing. If we had a conversation, right? Like, hey, I want a mommy makeover. I said, are you sure we're done having kids? That was the first one. You're like, well, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And so we waited, right? And then guess what? Surprise, number 2.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is having a talk, right? Like, great, she can have it for free because I'm doing it, right?
Well, nothing's free, guys. But anyway,
That's true. But the reality is cost is one thing, but 2 is having that conversation with that significant other. And I think it's a good topic to sit here and like, some people let themselves go. Whether, imagine a guy who's totally fit and you're like, oh my God, he's like number 10. He's got the perfect wiener. He's totally buff.
yeah. Where's he at?
He loves you for the way you are, with no butt, with big butt, whatever it is. You guys get pregnant, you have a baby, everything's awesome. And then all of a sudden he stops working out. He starts getting really fat. And now you're into taking care of yourself. You're into like everything. Would you still feel the same desire to want this person who gave you a baby who now didn't look like it? He used to have a 6-pack. Now he's got a beer belly.
Think attraction fades anyway. Like,
But that's not true. I'm
Yes,
more
it
attracted
is.
to her now than I was when I met her.
when you guys are 80 years old and you're saggy, it's like it's gonna fade a little bit over time. It's not gonna be exactly the same. But anyway, but to your point, I think it's like how you deliver it. If you're like, ew, like I'm not attracted to you, blah blah blah.
But let's say we try over, like, let's say me and you, and all of a sudden I gained 100 pounds and I don't look anything the way I do. Like, I'm so big, she has to be on top because if not, I would crush her. So that's not the person that she married. That's not the significant other who was into taking care of themselves, taking care of her.
So are you saying appearance is more important than everything else?
I'm not saying it's more important, but I'm saying that's still a bigger part. So
not.
unless
It's
you're
a
blind,
part. It's a part.
I
but
mean,
is it so big of a part that you have to
it
like
shouldn't
put
be
down
so
your partner?
says the single woman.
but I also think
don't see me judging
you should
him.
love yourself to be able to love your partner.
Correct.
So if
What
you
he loves
just
himself like that?
But you
you
don't.
don't.
If you're being unhealthy,
If I'm
you're
like
not working at
300
that-
pounds,
that's
how can
not
I love
loving-
myself?
No one's at 300
Or
pounds.
whatever, 200 pounds. I'm like overweight, obese. How am I loving myself when I'm like, if you're that big, that means I'm shortening my life. I'm not going to live longer. I have kids. How do I love my kids and
How
my
can I-
husband?
Okay, but on the other side of that scale, if let's say I'm 100 pounds, but I'm never eating, I'm never taking care of myself, I'm never going to the
I'm
gym.
not saying that. That's the other extreme.
Exactly.
But it's still the same premise. That is not, if
It's
let's
still-
say you were 200 pounds and I married you at 200 pounds, and all of a sudden now you became 100 pounds. You are not the person I fell in love with. I love to hang on to those roles, and now you don't have them. So that changes the attraction for some people.
Jenna, don't lose your roles.
Yes, all those roles, right?
No, I'm saying that attraction changes, but like when men on the internet are like, "Oh, if she doesn't bounce back immediately, like
that's-
I'm leaving her."
That's being just
like, come
Petty.
on.
But I would just sit here and say, so if your dick shrunk, she's not going to want you. Are you
That's
okay
not
with them
the
walking?
same.
But I'm saying, like, these guys who have this perception that women have to bounce back, not everybody bounces back. I know plenty of patients who had 5 kids that look as good as she did and look like they've never had
there's-
kids.
there's-
And-
It's also genetics.
no,
too,
no,
like
I know,
some
but I'm
people-
saying that woman who's had 5 kids looks like her, has the 6th one, and now she's 200 pounds and says, what the heck happened? I said, I can't tell you. Everybody's body responds differently. Some women have 1 baby and they can't bounce back. Other women have 3 or 4 babies bounce back. I have 1 more and they don't bounce back.
and I mean, there's other things too that you might lose all the weight, but how about the skin? How about the muscles? I mean, you're not going to be completely flat unless you get help.
Yep.
And there's no shame in getting
Well,
a little,
My
Nip and
take.
tuck.
Exactly.
Snip and tuck.
My take is if they're gonna be on the internet saying all this stuff,
Then
they
they-
better pay for it if that's what they want.
Yeah.
And that's okay to pay for it, but you have to understand that there's no one size fits all when it comes to this. Whether you're talking about big weenies, big bellies, small bellies, big boobs, small boobs. It's about what makes everybody in themselves happy. It's not that she wanted a mommy makeover for me, even though I did talk shit, and I'm aware of that. I still loved her no matter what. But obviously, if it didn't make her feel good, it wasn't going to make us feel good. So if she wanted it, I did it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was for me, not so much for you.
Correct. But do you feel better now than you did?
Absolutely. I would do it again.
All right, guys, what's our word of the day?
Our word of the day is
Pickle.
Big Mama.
Big Mama.
Big
Let
Mama.
us know in the DMs.
Again, what are they going to win this week, Alondra? Actually, we are giving away a Dr. Scottsdale t-shirt, which I am not wearing today.
We're not wearing, but we have one.
But if you DM us at Snip and Sip podcast, Big Mama, you're going to win a free Dr. Scottsdale t-shirt. It might not seem like a lot, but we have small, medium, large, and extra large because, again, we cater to everybody. And again, weight is not the end-all, be-all.
Absolutely not. And there's no shame in getting help.
Like I said, these ladies have been helped. I'm willing to help. So we're here for you ladies and gents. Because again, there is daddy do-overs, not just mommy makeovers. So that's
Next
it.
episode, Daddy do.
Daddy do-overs. Maybe next week.
Maybe
next week. But anyways, guys, that's it for episode number 8. Thanks for watching and stay tuned. Have a great day.
Bye.
I hope you had as much fun listening as we did recording. Don't forget to follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all podcast sites for new episodes, as well as Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Stay snatched, stay hydrated, and until next time, cheers.